Hello everyone. Today we'll talk about Visual Studio Code and how we will use it to run our C programs and debug them with the most easiest steps available on internet. So I already have downloaded Visual Studio Code and I had previously used some inspiration from YouTube and it was quite troublesome. So I tried with this and it is not working, but since with this method now I can run my code with just one click of a button and it works perfectly fine. So the first time it won't, but the second time you see we already get this output, and we also can debug C. See, we can get these buttons. In the previous time we were getting these disabled, so that was a big problem, but now we are able to see here. We can just go through the debug process and yeah, that's it. So this video I'll just tell you how to do this. We don't need to configure anything. Even if you already have a Visual Studio Code installed and are willing to start it over, you don't need to start it over. I'll just tell you what to do. Okay, so I'll be assuming that you already have a Visual Studio Code and that it is not working as you expected it to. So let us just start. The first thing we will do is go here, the Google, we search for Visual Studio Docs. We get here and the Visual Studio, sorry, we need Visual Studio Code here. Right, in the C++ section we get GCC on Windows. I'm also assuming that you are working on Windows, so let's get this done. We don't need to read all of this. I've already done this research for you, so we just need to install Visual Studio Code from this website. Here, install this, use the system installer 64-bit, it will download it, install it as usual. You can just check any online tutorial or YouTube video available for just downloading this Visual Studio Code. Once you have downloaded it, we can resume with this. Okay, we don't need this as of right now. I'll tell you what to do about this. Okay, next is we need this mysys2. We need to install it from here. We'll get an installer somewhat like this. Here, so you just have to run this. We get to the next part, keep this one default, and it will just do the rest. So I've already installed it, so you just have to follow that instructions, that's all. And after that, see, it will look something like this. The first thing we need to do is we need a UCRT64 environment, but the default that this one will launch is mysys2. You need to understand this. When it runs mysys2, you have to either untick this and then finish, or if it is already clicked, you just have to close any terminal that this one by default opens, and you have to go here. See, mysys64, that's where you installed it, right? And we have to go down here, UCRT64. This is the application version. We need to run this one. Okay, so once this window opens, all we need is to run this. Just copy and paste it here. Alright, we have to copy it and shift insert, we will paste it and just hit enter. It will ask for permissions and you just have to write here yes, just type Y and enter. It will do the rest for you, and after that do not use the 7th and 8th step. We will just use this one, and once that is done, minimize it, come back here and copy paste this one. Okay, so we'll just copy this. Once this is all done, we will, on this same command, shift insert, it will paste it, enter this, press yes, press Y, and that will install the tool chain as well. And that's it. After that, just system environment. Once you come here, all you need to do is open C, this is where you installed it, and MinGW64. I'm also assuming that you are using 64-bit processor, and most of these processors are 64-bit in today's day and age, so we do not require MinGW32. Nonetheless, there is nothing installed here, but in MinGW64 we have it installed through toolchain, right? So the bin folder, just copy, environment variables, here path, edit, new, and Control V. I have already done this in the previous step, so once you will not be doing that, but once we have done copy paste, just click OK, and then go down here, path, edit, new, the same system. I have done it already here, so I'll skip this, hit OK, OK, that's done. So the path is now set. Now we need to check, we can close this one now. Now we need to check if we have GCC and all. So GCC -- version, put this in the command prompt, enter, you should get something like this. Same with the G++, you get this, done, gdb -- version, this is the debugger for C, and you also get a version for this. So everything is now set. Now that you have installed the VScode, what you need to do is, first of all, open your program files. Okay, so from here, open folder, from file you get open folder, and I have stored all my C programs in here, so I'll select that. And the first thing you need to do is delete this. The .VScode, we have to delete that. It belongs to the previous installation, not this current installation. Once you have done that, you have to just go here, type a random program. I have done this one, and just hit run. Then you get detected task. Okay, so this one, remember we have compiler cl.exe. this is Clang based. We do not want to use Clang, we want to use MinGW GCC. So we will be using detected task, this one. If you have not deleted .VScode, then you will get your previous installations file here as well, and it will give you an error because it does not exist anymore. Or even if it does, it will give you undesired output, since that will be the constant output that you were getting before this video. So you just have to hit this one. It is a one-time thing, detected task, one-time thing. It will create a new VScode with a new task.json file, and you can see your output is already getting printed here. We'll just change this for good measures. I have also made this autosave, so you don't have to press Ctrl S every time you make a change. Hit run, and you can see the output is visible here. Alright, with this I'll also be talking about the debugger file. So I have put a breakpoint here, right? We just have to add any breakpoint. Adding breakpoint here will execute all of the code in this void main. So that is what we basically want after all. So we'll just debug this. Now it will create a new debugger for us, and you can see these buttons are now available for us to use. So we just go 1 2 1 2 1 2. We can see these variables are getting changed as we go. We can also see how it is making these changes. Here we can see the extra details that we need. The output is getting changed dynamically. See, it changed to 6. henceforth debugging is complete, and hence the video is also complete. So this is the most easiest way available on internet today, and this research I had been doing for 3 days now, so it makes a big change since the steps were so simple. The YouTube tutorials are a bit hard. They will go through the VScode and launch.json files, and they'll ask you to configure them. You don't have to configure them at all. You don't even have to configure this run and debug. This is the most simplest way available for all the beginners who just want to learn C and wish to debug them by learning C with learning C. So that's all for this video. Thank you everyone.